Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, also known as Weight Watcher, Cape Cod Woman. And today's topic is provocative. What is provocative to you? Remember that, to me that word always was something racy, provocative. And, but what I try to make my videos about are thought turning into action, provocative topics. Things that you hadn't thought of before, and I doubt that you'll be hearing at the generic Weight Watcher meetings, but sometimes here online, or here on, at least on my channel, you will hear thought-provoking ideas. And plus, you're also on my journey of leaving behind white flour and as many wheat-related things as I can give up. I find that with wheat, that the cereal was definitely making me bloated, spiking my sugar, probably my blood sugar, so I was hungry again for food. I've been having eggs as my social experiment for the last 3 days. Tomorrow I have steel-cut oats planned, and I am feeling different and noticing a difference. So anyway, I'm trying to provoke you into making changes that you never thought you'd make in your life. Just to see how it fits. You can go back to tummy problems or headaches or acne or weight gain. You can go back to all those things if you try something and you don't feel it works for you. So in provoking you into thinking and then motivating you into doing, I hope you get a success that you never dreamed possible. And, more and more people that are subscribers to my channel aren't members necessarily of Weight Watchers, or definitely don't go to the meetings, and some don't even track. And so I always suggest that if, you can't afford the money, and let's face it, it's expensive when you add all these fresh veggies and fruits to your program as well, and frequently, and even like removing wheat, what do I do to replace it? There's costly items out there. So anyway, so I strongly recommend, somebody told me to check out Foods You Hate, and I did, and I liked it, and I signed up for it, and I started to log my food for the day just to compare it with my 26 points, but I just got too busy, and so I couldn't get back to it. Also, my Fitness Pal has a tracker. It's calories, it's not points. I know that about 10 years ago, I was on Spark People, and I used to log all my food there too. So those are alternatives. I know that there are some apps out there that do Weight Watcher points, kind of hijacked or pirated things for the points. But for now, I just do the tracker. I don't do the walk-in meetings. So for me, so far, the $20 a week is affordable. But I also have an insurance plan that covered it last year. I have a new insurance plan this year that ends in about 2 weeks. And then I go on to Medicare. Oh my goodness! And my supplemental insurance that I'm choosing also reimburses for Weight Watchers up to $150. So that takes a hunk out of the $240 for me. So it ends up $90 for the year, unless they go up in price. But anyway, there are ways to do it. And you know something? If you want to lose weight, if you want to do it, and you can't afford the tracker on Weight Watchers, you can find a way if you're that motivated, right? So, I try to give the calories and points when I do my grocery hauls because I'm sensitive to those that count calories. You can always become an avid label reader like I am. There's always certain things that I look for. Definitely no high fructose corn syrup. Now I'm looking out for the extra sugar. I try to have my cereals. I bought some gluten-free ones that have 1 gram up to 8 grams of sugar instead of the whopping other ones. And And wheat turns to sugar in your system anyway, so that's not good, and that turns to weight. So becoming an avid label reader is a good idea. Hungry Girl has great things. She has Weight Watcher points usually listed for her food finds and her recipes online. And so there's a lot of places out there that you can mix the oranges and the apples and get what you need to be able to lose weight. And then there's just the common sense of it as well. So I try to provoke you into making small changes in your life. So when you look down the road, you know, when I look back at some of my videos, I did a whole video on cereals and they all contain wheat. So now here I am with my, you know, gluten-free, not totally gluten-free, but definitely no wheat cereal in the morning anymore choices, and I have a gluten-free pizza. I'm not buying wraps with gluten in them, and I'm buying crackers that are gluten-free. And I noticed I have a bag of chips that I wasn't getting into, and it's the Food Should Taste Good brand. And these are cinnamon sweet potato something something chips, and they're gluten-free as well as organic and no GMOs. So I'm delighted about that. So I've got a different eye when I go shopping, and that's, you know, that's what it's provoked me into changing up, you know, making some tweaks in my food plan. So what I'm trying to provoke you to do is look at your food plan. Are you doing the same old, same old? You know, like that woman that talks in the morning with the same damn bathrobe on? Are you like her? Come on, change it up. Add a little spice to your life. So I did. I added a new bathrobe. Oh my God, how exciting. But I am changing up my food. And what provokes me were the authors that I read, which was Dr. Hyman, Mark Hyman, and Dr. Liam Davis, who did the Wheat Belly diet. And these two authors have had a very profound and provocative effect on me in the last couple of weeks. And I've really changed it up a lot. And I will tell you that in the summer you do have to go shopping a lot more because the fruits, the veggies and the fruits, well, especially the veggies, the lettuces, the delicate ones like the red leaf that I'm hooked on, they get moist and watery real fast. So you have to replace them often. But that's a small PIA in the scheme of things. You know, if I pick up lettuce every other day or 3 times a week, one of them being at the farmer's market, you know, is that a big deal? No, not really. And I live close enough to most of the stores that I can do it. How about you guys? You know, I know the romaine lasts a long time. I buy them in the 3-packs and they last a long time. So I'm trying to be provocative. I'm trying to make you change up your world, what you do for yourself. It's not going to have an effect on me or anybody else that's, you know, watching this and tracking their food. But I want it to make a difference to you. I want you to say, wow, that's a different idea. I am going to give that a shot, you know. For me, it was the gluten. It was going to full fat things instead of doing the fat-free and the low-fat. The Sargento cheese, I still like the low-fat, but when I heard how processed it is to take out the fat, I don't know, I'm just not on board with that stuff. It's like when I learned that farm-raised salmon isn't this color. They add dye to it to make it look like the wild-caught salmon. This sort of stuff is hideous to me, that they do this stuff, and we don't know that. They aren't telling us that. So I'm putting my food dollars in places that have a little bit more sustainable, conscientious raising, making, growing, tilling, and churning with the cheeses. And yes, it costs more, but I'm finding that I'm having less because everything is more of a delicacy. Like the 2 ounces of the full-fat cottage cheese with either a peach or pineapple. That's been my choices this week. And then having the full-fat yogurt, having 2 ounces of it, with 2 ounces still, I've got some fat-free that I'm working on. So that cuts part of that high fat. But taking the risk with a product that might be seem like it's a forbidden food, seem like it's high in points, but when you start integrating it into your diet, you'll find that you're satisfied, like I am. Maybe. I mean, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you it will work, but I'm just telling you what has worked for me. And what a difference it's made, you know. I had a ribeye from the farmer's market, and of course it's got a lot more fat in it than the filet mignon that I've been having all winter. And it was grass-fed. It was a lot of money per pound, but not much more than the fillets are in the regular stores now. And I'm going back. I'm going to have it again. And Dr. Davis, as I was listening to the Wheat Belly book today while I was walking, he was talking about the saturated fats. Well, I'm having 4 ounces of it. And, you know, he talks about having these things in small amounts. I think 4 ounces is a small amount of a piece of steak, especially compared to how I used to eat my ribeyes and porterhouses. So what provokes you today, or what are you willing to be provoked by to make a change in your life? I want to hear below what provokes you. And I can't wait to read what you write, because change is possible. Losing weight is possible. Doing this is possible. Becoming accountable to yourself and not looking at food like it's something to eat just to get to that weight loss, that weigh-in. Instead, enjoying the journey. You know, I'm going to read that French woman's book about the small portions and the full fat. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, do what you have to do for yourself, but I just want to provoke you into thinking that you can get out of your box and maybe make a change and maybe find, wow, I'm glad I did that. Have a wonderful day. Until the next time, this has been Sarah. Bye-bye for now.